Hello! For the last 30 days I challenged myself to learn as much about editing as my attention span allowed me to. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked the video be sure to like it, and there's a lot more coming your way, so please consider subscribing. Without further ado, on to the video. Now, I had two main objectives for week one. One was to find a good editing software, and two was to learn as much as I could about said software.
Which, in my mind, would equal big success. Now, first I made a quick detour to learn which software I should use to screen record, so you guys can see what I saw, which I thought was pretty key for a video about editing, and quickly settled on OBS over any other screen recorder from the recommendation of this one video. Onto the editing software. I scoured the web looking for answers as to what to use as my free editing software. I looked for a free editing software so that anyone who watches this video can try to learn how to edit in the same way I did, and totally not because I'm broke. So after scouring the web, the internet answered, and the consensus was an overwhelming get DaVinci Resolve. Why are you even thinking about it? The hype around this software was so insane that I was almost convinced I could transcend editing videos with it, but also start editing the very fabric of space-time. So in my mind, I had to get it. Clearly, I mean, who wouldn't? And it looked so smooth, it just ran so nice. You could do most things with it that were only available with paid software. So I downloaded it with the help of a man with an Indian accent. God bless you. And here I was, about to embark on this editing journey with my own personal Jarvis. And well, it turned out my laptop could run it. Just the only problem being, I can't see anything on the screen. So that was pretty disappointing. And at this point, after hearing all the hype, I was half tempted to just try editing, like on this. I don't know. I just thought maybe I could memorize where all the buttons were and just do it anyway. But cooler heads prevailed, and a course of action I was considering was just using Shotcut, which I used prior just for little projects. But after this guy said it was a bit mid, I thought let's try another one. And so from the recommendation of this single video, I just took it that HitFilm would be a great software to use for editing. Next day, still reeling from the heartbreak of not being able to use DaVinci, I started learning how to edit on HitFilm. I used this video to learn. I noted it all down like the good student that I am. Now, I had high hopes for HitFilm because the design looked sort of kinda similar to DaVinci, I guess, if you really stretch it. And it was also what my sister once used for editing her YouTube videos. I had no trouble downloading it, so I was like, this is great so far. I started absorbing all the information I could about HitFilm, from how to do transitions, effects, to color grading. I was really liking what I saw with HitFilm. That was the overall consensus. But when I finished that video and decided to watch another one, I saw this. My heart sank. I had to confirm whether this is true. I don't want to start editing on a software that most people nowadays say is rubbish compared to what it once was. I had to investigate. Was this just a solo opinion, or are there others who feel the same way? Well, it turns out HitFilm isn't what it once was, and my disappointment was immeasurable and my day was ruined.
So I started scouring the web once more
seeking, hunting for recommendations made within just the last couple months and not bloody years. And I found Kenden Live. It looked pretty ugly on the surface, but as it turns out, it was beautiful on the inside, quite like Shrek. Most people had very good things to say about it, and I'd come back to find out it worked how I wanted it to. So I decided this was the software I would use for this video. I finished off the rest of the day looking at Kenden Live tutorials. Not much happened this day. I was a bit tired after work to do any learning. My biggest excuse, however, was that it was the 2nd of September and the cinema tickets in the UK were only £3 each, which means I could see Meg 2, The Trench, and how could I miss an opportunity of a lifetime like that? I just could not. So I saw that masterpiece of a movie and I don't regret it. It was absolutely atrocious, but I loved every second of it. And yes, at this point you probably realized that I am publishing this video and editing it as script writing way late. Yes, I did this experiment in September and it is now January. But now I've got a new mic, so there we go. That's what I was waiting for. Hopefully it sounds alright. Anyways, day 4. This day was interesting. I had a grand total of 2 hours of sleep as work required me to get up at 3 AM. So obviously I was a bit energetic. However, I did get around to finishing the tutorial I started in day 2. Now, I was starting to be a bit done with watching tutorials by this sort of time in the week, so I decided to watch a different kind of editing video, which was more about what makes videos good. And it was very insightful. I would recommend, with good tips such as steal good ideas and use jump cuts to improve watchability, making sure everything you talk about has a good setup and a payoff, and first do the boring stuff, and lastly make sure to find the right music. Jokes aside though, I'd definitely recommend watching this video. If editing and becoming a YouTuber is something you want to do, then I'd recommend it a lot. So link in the description. However, moving on, I then watched this video about how to start getting paid with editing, which I found interesting. And if any of you guys would want me to make a video about trying this, let me know in the comments, and if there's enough of a demand, I will make one. Unfortunately, I felt quite discouraged this day because I just wanted to start editing already. In hindsight, I'd recommend just starting to edit straight away, as learning skills without actually using them made me really demotivated, especially at the start of the week. So if you were in the same boat as I was in this month of just learning editing, I'd just watch a tutorial or two and just like get on with it, because I would definitely recommend that, because I feel like you just get demotivated when you're just watching tutorials and you're not actually doing anything with them, with that knowledge. And it's also harder to make that knowledge stick if you don't do anything with it. Now, day 7, sorry. 4 and 7, basically the same number, am I right? I downloaded a totally not fishy video downloader to help me use the footage I wanted to. Next, I watched another Kenden Live tutorial. Now, before we go to week 2, I also found these websites sometimes during the week, but I can't exactly remember when or where I got the recommendations from, so I'm just going to say I found them during day 7. These websites proved very helpful for learning how to edit, as they allowed access to free to use music and footage without having to worry about copyright infringement, that naughty cheeky thing. So you'll soon see I use these quite a lot in creating videos. I would especially recommend Pixabay if you're looking to find footage you can practice editing with. And anyways, now to the good part, week 2. Week 2, the glorious week 2. The criteria for success for this week was create easy to make short and different style videos under 3 minutes long using the skills that I learned. Now, did I do that? Somewhat. You see what I mean. But first of all, day 1, I just kind of dipped my toes in and created this as my first video, just to test how Kindle Live works. You know, my dog is fabulous. Honestly, this video was more of a test than anything. I just wanted to put something in Kindle Live, so to speak. That feels a lot more weird saying than it was in my head. Anyways, day 2 was my first more proper video. I wanted to create a short commentary sort of video because I figured I would use stock footage I found on Pixabay and try to create something motivational slash, well, not really, more like a parody of a motivational video. And here's what I created.
Motivation. This is what we'll be talking about today. First, they do a little hook, play a title card, and then they show you a bunch of mountains and cool scenery, and the guy reading a book later on. Because the guy is studious, I guess, while playing some chill music for that modern day Socrates vibe. And then, obviously, they give you the good stuff, that well-researched, detailed, and informed analysis, how to get more motivated or lead a more fulfilling life. Just get motivated, mate, innit?
Now, it wasn't anything special, but I enjoyed making it, and not counting the bad mic quality, I'd say it was a pretty good video. Unlike what I'd create next. Day 3. So, to give you an idea what was in my head, I thought I'd create a montage of a TV show that I liked. In this case, Avatar: The Last Airbender, as it's one of my favourite shows, as is for a bunch of people, and I thought I'd overlay it with some epic music and some character dialogue like this video from Trinity Studios.
And he is a fool.
Some of you may think that the Fire Nation has made you powerless, but they can't take away your courage.
If you want to be a bender, you have to let go of fear.
I've always had to struggle and fight, and that's made me strong. It's made me who I am.
It is the
But I thought, you know what, this would be kind of easy to make. It doesn't look too complicated. I reckon I can do this. Well, as it turns out, that was a bigger rookie mistake, that. Because during the next 8 or so hours, I realised this was way above my current skill level, and I don't know what I'm doing. So my first problem was I couldn't find a good song that I could use for free without copyright infringement. And all of the songs that I thought would go well with the video were unfortunately ones you'd have to pay for. And as much as I love Avatar, I'm not going to spend $30 a month to create edits about it. Maybe in the next life, who knows. Now, my next big issue was finding audio clips of the characters saying things that I remembered them saying. Like, you know, some epic quotes like Iroh saying, don't be a meanie, eat your greenie. Which led to a lot of researching and eventually led to me giving up on finding audio and just sticking with visuals and music to tell the story. Kind of like Disney movie Fantasia, if anyone's ever watched it. Next problem was where to get the clips from. This was so annoying because, and probably my biggest problem, because at times I would have to download a full 10-minute video for a 5-second segment that I liked. It was, it was like a 5-second segment of Aang screaming. I was like, oh, this one good. Shows emotion I like. But yeah, so that was one of my biggest problems. I started editing, but at this point I was so demotivated by making this video because nothing was going how I wanted it to, and I knew this kind of video isn't the type of video I'd want to produce in the future. So I finished it up, rushed to finish, and I could tick making a show montage / edit thing out of the way. I think the biggest mistake I made with this video was making a script / how I wanted the video to look before I found what clips were available for me to use. Now, I'm not going to show this whole video, but if you'd like to see this abomination, I'm sure I'll have it somewhere, maybe on my blog. If you'd be interested in checking it out, which I highly don't recommend seeing this video, just don't do it. It will be a waste of 3 minutes of your life. But you can see all the videos I made as a part of this 1 month challenge. The description. Anyway, it's definitely not my proudest work. On to week 3. Next, I tried making a short film fact video that I thought would be more fun and less effort to make. And well, I found this project very boring, and I just ended up copying a film fact that I found on the internet and narrating over it. You can hear how excited my narration is. Unconscious for half an hour. After that, she was ready for work, but Murphy was afraid to do it again. Then my internet went out for a few days, which was not ideal. But after it came back, I found myself not wanting to edit, and I had a bit of a crisis in week 3, where I just didn't find it fun at all to make these videos. So I didn't really like making it, at least. Watching is a different story. I'll eat up 1,000 film facts. I'm a total nerd when it comes to that. Making these last 2 videos just felt like I was swimming through molasses because of how boring they were to make. So unfortunately, I quit for a little bit in week 3. However, fortunately, after a week break from editing and a trip, not the drug kind, but more just, you know, the travel kind, I reevaluated my life choices and decided to stop being the flipping baby and carry on. However, I wanted to learn how to edit, making a video I would have some enjoyment making, aka a commentary video, like the one in week 1. Armed with a better attitude, I started working on a new project, and this time I got all the footage, or at least most of the footage I wanted to use before starting work on this video, which helped out greatly. I would say definitely do that, make a video. Obviously, like, do a little script too, but you know. Anyways, I went into a bit of a flow state, and I felt like I was doing really good work, like everything was finally falling into place. And for the first time, I actually showed the beginning part of the edit before working on it further to my family, which further motivated me. And over a 5-day period, I worked around 24 hours on this 4-minute video. While the script and delivery was a bit and that's something I will aim to improve on in the future. I was still really proud of what I made, and the process of making it was infinitely more satisfying than all the other videos I worked on. Making this video specifically also taught me the most about editing, because I really tried my best with it and I was enjoying the process, which I think is a key part of staying motivated and pursuing editing further. Now, my only hiccup was when my laptop glitched and I lost the final video about 5 minutes from finishing my first draft, which was pretty annoying. However, I managed to save it before, 1 hour before. So I only had to repeat 1 hour worth of work, but as you can see by my reaction, I wasn't too pleased.
But when it's just a normal video, it's super
fucking
simple.
hell, man. God damn it. So I was pretty angry, pretty pointed, pretty wrecked. But it was not that big of a deal. And here is the final product. I provided a timestamp if you don't want to watch the whole 4-minute video. Nibble at your heatwave Doritos, little one. I'm about to tell you why traveling is kinda cool. I know, pretty crazy view on the subject in this modern era. Also, imagine if I actually got that right and one of you is actually eating Doritos right now and I just freaked the shit out of you. That'd be glorious. Please leave a comment if that occurred or happened. Anyways, here you are. Yes, that's you, right now. You're in the rain. Why? Because I said so. At any rate, stop being silly. Get inside. Or should you? You see, traveling is about exploring the unknown. Not laying down in your comfy bed, watching a YouTube video or TV show. Learning about the realities of the world with your own experience and through the lens of your own perspective, rather than seeing the world through other perspectives presented through other media that often have an agenda. Totally unlike what I'm doing right now because I'm such a good guy. Anyways, this is important, apparently, according to people less broke that have travelled a lot more than me. But even through my own brief experience, traveling, and I mean kind of brief, I can definitely say that traveling has helped me expand my view of the world and made me look forward to a future in which I can visit more of it, exploring the beauty of the world from big fuck off waterfalls to huge fuck off mountains that make you go, oh my god. Putting perspective on how small we are in the grand scheme of things. Travel can help you tear down your prejudices and help you meet amazing people with different worldviews and perspectives to remind you just how narrow your field of experience on this rotating speck of dust has been. But also, in what ways we're similar, in which ways we're not. For example, do you know there's fucking Mongolian stone cooking? Like, I had to Google that just to make sure that that was a real thing, but where would you find that in the UK, you know? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy that that exists. Like, someone just picked up a rock. Like, let's heat this bad boy up and make some schnitzel. Anyway, before I ramble on too much, all this is to say, traveling is great for a lot of reasons. With the quote, in 20 years you will be more disappointed in things that you didn't do than the things you did do, really emphasizing why people are so obsessed with travel in the modern era. The fear of FOMO, plus the idea that you are way more likely to remember novel experiences that ultimately make up your life. You're much more likely to remember surfing a wave or a holiday in Venice than watching a YouTube video about why SpongeBob SquarePants is secretly a member of the Illuminati in your gloomy man cave covered by Dorito dust, Jeremy. Anyways, let's wrap this up before I go on to any more tangents. Overall, travel is pretty cool, and you should definitely try to experience it at some point in your life. But remember, happiness is most influenced by your outlook on life. So it doesn't matter where you are, always try to stay positive. As in the words of Shakespeare, there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking it makes it so. So on that note, thank you for watching, and see you sexy Dorito munchers soon. And if you want to see the rest of the questionable videos, as I said before, they will be published on my blog in their entirety. So, because I just thought this video is long enough as it is already. Now, on to the main takeaways. Hello, we back. Okay, the main takeaways are 1. Get a free editing software It will help you out massively, and plus if you don't like it, then you can just be like, oh, I don't want you anymore, and uninstall it, and you won't have to pay money for it. Now my second takeaway is, don't be like me. Just learn the video, like from a video, like a tutorial, and then just apply that straight away. That will help you out immensely, and I feel like when the processes of learning as well as doing run concurrently, you learn faster and you're just more motivated to actually keep going. Now, tip number 3 / takeaway, because I am no expert at this at all. When making a video edit, make sure you're making something that you'll enjoy making. That makes sense? That you think you will enjoy making. Make sure that you have like this intention to release it into the public, even if you're not actually releasing it to the public, because I feel like when you're really like, your name is attached to it and you know you're gonna put it out into the public, you try harder, because you're like, oh, don't want my name to be associated with this questionable edit. So yeah, try doing that, even if you're not actually intending to publish it at all, because I feel like it would just make you try a little bit harder. I don't know whether this tip works for you, but it worked for me. Number 4, save your work every 20 minutes, if you can, that is, because as I know from experience, not doing so is a bit of an oof, I must say. Anyways, number 5, if you're looking for stock footage, look at royalty-free websites such as Pixabay. In this video, it saved my life. It generally is so useful if you're just looking for free stock footage for just videos, pictures, as well as music, which I have used throughout this whole video. So Pixabay, you're amazing. Number 6 is have a concept for your videos, but know also what you're working with. For example, in the Avatar video, I thought I'd have access to certain clips and sounds that I was unable to find, so that really impaired my script and plan as a whole. And yeah, just have a concept, write a script and stuff like that, but first have an idea of what you're working with. And yeah, that's what I learned in these 30 days. If you found it useful, hit like if you enjoyed it. Hit like also. I won't stop you. If you want to subscribe, feel free. There's a lot more coming. Once every 2 weeks is the plan. Is the plan to go from now on. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and bye bye.